Okay, so welcome to the Beer Tent Breakdowns one-on-ones. This is where we really delve down into the personal stories of the individuals that make horseboarding so great and create the family that we all know and love. And if you're new to horseboarding, then get to some of the other videos, go to YouTube, like, subscribe. But here right now, it's Beer Tent Breakdowns, and we are talking to the one, the only Daniel Overton, otherwise known as Super Dan.
Hello.
That was quick. That was. I thought it was going to be a bit more of a "Hello, I'm Dan," but we also didn't practice this going in,
No, that is true.
There's no script, but basically, so from my memory of how Dan got involved in the sport, and we're going to go down to Dan's early days, but to give a bit of context to how we met him. So you came along to take some photos. The sport has had so many photographers over the years. So when people come and offer to take photos, we're usually a bit like, yeah, okay, fine. You turned up with, and I think you'd done an event before, but I think it was Burley where I kind of noticed you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so Burley and Sandringham, I think I did. Like unofficially, if that makes sense. And then I think it was Anita that said, "Do you want to come along?" I think it was it East Anglia, the first one. I think it was.
If you say so.
Yeah, I think it was. Yes, East Anglia. So yeah, turned up, not overly sure what was going to happen, and yeah, all took off from there really. So initially in Sandringham and Burley, just had my camera over my shoulder, just a Century 200 lens, nothing too extreme. Shot a couple of photos and then thought, yeah, I'm into this. It's quite a niche skill because you've got two elements. Essentially, one element like a car or an aircraft or a horse. You've got to look at the horse, but then you also got you crazy people flying through the frame behind you. So you've really got to master that as well.
Okay. Because you just said car, aircraft, horse.
Yeah.
Horseboarding is very different.
Yeah.
I'll unpack that later, because
Yes.
actually it comes into real fruition later, because we talk about your career as a
Yes.
photographer. But I remember seeing, like, when I kind of registered you, because as you've learned, we are all busy all the time on a showground. But I kind of registered you and was like, because you turned up with what only I could describe was either guitar or weapon case worth of equipment that made me stop and go, huh?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a photographer.
A lot of people do that. When that case opens, it's a very much, the only way to describe it is you've seen cartoons like the gold, just as you open the case, the gold lights up. A lot of people look at it and do double take, and obviously the kit's got more and more in the last few years as well. So yeah, we do look a lot of kit around.
So give us a bit of a breakdown since quick overview, because we're gonna after this we're gonna start from your early career.
Yeah.
And what brought you to the magic of horseboarding.
Yeah.
So your first overview when you really got involved with horseboarding, and what kind of clicked in your brain to go, yes, I want to be involved in this. What spark brought you back?
So it's initially when you first turn up, it was it's like a cliche, but everyone's so friendly. So you all arm around each other and you support each other. So if someone needs help, everyone jumps in, tries to help. And then the other side of it is, I can see where this is going to go. It's a niche sport, but if you come along to it, you'll understand what it is. There's something about it that you can, I don't know how to explain it really. So you can see where it's going to go. There's the right people in the right place at the right time, I think, and everyone's got a passion for it, and that's unusual in today's like businesses, isn't it? In a sense, you know what I mean? Because everyone's a bit like, but I feel like it was more the people than the sport, if that makes sense. So you know you've got a good bunch of people you can work with that, and I like to, you'll know now, I like to shoot differently to what other photographers are doing, so I'll try and be completely different. So I thought I could bring my style to whatever you had before.
And I think you have. You've definitely brought the style. You've definitely. I think now horseboarding as a sport has a particular type of imagery, and that is your imagery.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what it does. So we are a few minutes in. What I want to do is kind of start with the general kind of podcasty stuff.
Yeah.
Give me a background, like where you from, where were you born, what got you into photography. Give me that early story.
Yeah, so originally from Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
So my granddad, he was massively into photography. The photos you see from years ago, he's always got a camera around his shoulder, he's always got a camera doing something. We used to go out and go to aviation museums, and he'd have a camera, take photos. And I think that's what stems why I've always got a camera in my head, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So do you view the world through a view screen? In a way, in your brain?
Yeah, I look at stuff and get, like, I've been sat here doing a podcast today, and I will sit there and you'll see sometimes I'll have the camera, because I'll be always looking for an angle and thinking I could use that future, like further down the line. And when you see, if I'm in the arena, you'll see me, I'll do a full loop first and just see how you've laid the course out, if there's any way in particular. So yeah, it's very much, I'm always looking for a certain angle or a certain, if you stood there, a lot of people would just go, that's a photo, whereas I'll lay on the floor. So Burley last year, loads of photographers, I was like, stuff there, so I'm going to lay on the floor, completely different angle. 20 minutes later, 3 other people are laying on the floor. It's things like that but yeah, going back to where we were.
I diverted.
So going back, so I think my granddad, he was a big influence with the camera, on the camera side of it. I remember being on holiday, couldn't tell you where it was, but mum and dad giving me a camera and taking photos of mum, dad and sister, and that was the first time I've composed a photo. And that was it, that was the spark. And I thought, instead of just having the family photo, left them to one side, had the scene. And yeah, that was the spark. That's the first memory of the camera in my hand.
That's pretty cool. So that comes from like being influenced by family, and then actually having the moment to take your own photo.
Yeah.
And that just cemented it in your life.
Yeah, that was it. And I've been hooked ever since then. I've got my first job. Worked, saved as much as I possibly can. Most people.
What was that job?
Retail.
Okay.
Just a Saturday job, nothing fancy.
Yeah.
Just stacking shelves, all the good fun stuff. And saved. Most people are thinking about going for cars when they're that age, young lads. My thought was, let's get a camera. Let's get these cameras.
So what was the first? So once you'd managed to save, what was that camera like for people that are watching this that may understand cameras? I don't.
Yeah.
That's a spoiler. But tell us about the camera, and I'm sure you either still have it, or yes, you do.
Yeah,
there we go.
Still works.
You still have it. So tell us about it, the specs, the build. Like I want to know about it, because I think that's going to become relevant as we move into your early camera career.
Yeah. So the first camera was a Canon 350D, which, if you look now, it's probably worth about £10. But yeah, so it came with the Canon, and it came with a lens that comes with the camera, which is 1855 lens, which is good for like family photography and landscapes. You can go wide enough, 18mm landscapes, close-ish, 55mm, not fantastic for much else. That's 3 or 4 months down, probably not even that. Got a 70 to 300mm Sigma lens, which...
What does that mean?
So the higher the millage, the further you can see, basically.
Okay.
So if you're going super wide, so I've got fish eyes at a 10mm, which will go like that. That's the easy way to explain it. I've also got 600mm lenses, which can read number plates from a mile away if you really wanted to. So the best way to describe it, if I'm down this end of the ring, I can have a 600mm on, and I can still get you down the other end, fully in frame.
As in, you could read my fingerprint.
Yeah. So you'd have shots of you coming sideways. You think you stood next to you, but you're actually 100 metres further down the road. It just gives you that extra bit of reach. That's the easy way to explain.
So keeping you safe on the course or whatever you're shooting.
Yeah,
basically.
so it's always, I've always, maybe not in the younger days because I didn't have the money, but always try and get the full range of the don't try and have a gap in the range, because you can guarantee that gap is where you need to be shooting. So you'll see me if I'm out, I'll always have maybe 3 cameras on me. So I'll have a fisheye, 20. Rarely a fisheye, but sometimes I'm a fisheye, so I can go really wide if I want to. 24 to 70, 70 to 200, 150 to 600, or if I'm with a prime.
You said so many numbers at me in one go.
Yeah.
It's been a long day, Dan.
I know, sorry.
No.
So you've got like primes are a solid lens, so you're a bit stuffed for you guys. It's tricky with horseboarding at prime because you're coming towards it so quickly, so you fill up the frame so fast, and once you're past that frame, you're done with the prime. But yeah.
Okay. So that's interesting.
There's more in it than you think, if that makes sense.
Oh, what's this? How to master the fisheye lens for the ultimate 90s look. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that is a fisheye. So the idea is it obviously looks the lens is like a fisheye, so it's really warped. So you'll get a lot of space photography as fisheye. It gets more in.
So I'm trying not to laugh out loud because
Yeah.
it was Dan who put that up for us. He's now playing your
It's
role
my role,
on the laptop. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anything can pop up on this screen. Honestly, check his browser history. So who knows what's going to happen? But okay, so once you got your first camera, how quick? Oh, there's another fisheye. Is that old or is that new?
That's an extreme fisheye. That'll probably be maybe 8mm, I would say. That's a proper. The problem is newer cameras nowadays is you see sensor sizes and things like that, so you get a lot of wastage. Especially what I shoot is you get a lot of wastage. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. So from getting your first camera, when did you get it? Do you remember the year? I'm sure you do.
I don't know the exact year, to be fair. It must have been early 2000s, maybe. What was I, 16? So, yeah, early 2000s, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from getting that camera, what was the first job that you did with it, or the first bit of photography that led you into? Because you've done some really interesting work.
Yeah.
I really don't want to jump the gun with it because I know, and it is interesting. Why? The Overton website. I was like, Dan's just showing us random stuff.
Talking. We'll just show this. You talk.
Yeah. So first, I went to randomly East Midlands Airport just to try 70 to 300. I'm still in the early stages of learning the cameras. There's a lot to learn early on. A lot of people think it's picking up and shooting. It just doesn't work like that. I went to East Midlands Airport, and there was EasyJet aircraft just taxiing at the end of the runway. And the East Midlands, if everyone knows it, there's a power station next to it, and the smoke was just billowing and going across. And I thought, oh, if he turns perfectly, the aircraft will there, the smoke will go straight across. Aircraft's lit, but there's smoke behind it. And I waited and took that shot, and that sold to just a small aviation magazine, and then went on a few airliner websites, and that was probably the second hook, because I'd never seen it as a career before then. Like, I didn't think, I thought I'd just do a bit like Grandad, do it because for the love of it. And then I thought, oh, actually, I wonder. And that was the start of, back then it would have been DDSLR. So I did, not very imaginative back then, being young, but D for Daniel, and then DSLR, which was the camera.
Yeah.
Mate, so that DDSLR. That was the start of that portion of that part of the career, really.
Okay, so that, I mean, you're underselling how wide that photo went. You've told me.
Yeah.
It was almost, before, it was at the cusp before viral was really a term.
Yeah.
It went viral.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're underselling it. You took a photo that no one else had the imagination to take, because it's not. At least I know the power station you're talking about. It's not like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
All the time. It's just you went. That's a photo.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was just stood there and thought, that's a shot. It was like, that's pollution. That's everything, like that could go around the world, sort of thing. Like you've got everything that at the time the world was trying to eradicate, basically. And yeah, that's where.
Bet the airlines loved you.
Yeah. The thing is now you can't get to where the photo was taken, so it'd be very difficult. You'd have to be on the airport to actually take that photo again.
Oh really?
Yeah, built up around it, so you can't even get to it anymore.
There you go. You've influenced aviation building.
Yeah.
They're like, let's just build that out.
Just locked it all off. Yeah.
Okay, so then from there, and I'm going to let you do the talking. I kind of want to know from that point. I've forgotten the complete kind of history.
Yeah.
So I don't want to. The reason I'm kind of being very vague is because I don't want to plant something before we. I don't want to miss anything out in your story.
Yeah.
So we go from this point. You've had probably the viral before viral photo, and this is early 2000s, right?
Yeah. This is before.
We know. We were doing viral stuff before viral.
Yeah.
Hard to do, but the papers were buying it. There's money in the shots. There's everything.
Yeah.
Where did you go next? And then tell me kind of about that career. And what I'll do is I'll kind of just jump in, ask you questions around it. Because I know there's some really interesting stuff.
Yeah. So probably a year later or so, I'd say, after still going to like East Midlands, going to just like local like football matches, so mates used to play football, just nothing to do with the career side of it. It was just learning the camera, learning what a camera can do, how far you can push it before it decides it's not happy, like low light situation, things like that. And then spoke to a guy that used to live down the road from Mum and Dad's, and he was a marshal in Cadwell Park. And he said, do you want to come along and take some photos? So I was like, yeah, why not? So we've been a few times, me and Dad, to Cadwell Park, took a few photos from outside of the fence line. It's tricky on the outside, it's even more difficult nowadays with the more catch fencing and whatnot's being put up, but he said he would get us on the other side of the fence, which then would open up where I could go, and things like that. Shot marshalling for a year or so, as well as doing little bits here and there for like track days and whatnot. We did a lot of promo for like marshalling. So marshalling was obviously a big thing in motorsports. All the volunteers. It's what makes it go racing. But it's a bit like horseboarding. Volunteers here, they're not here. Doesn't happen. So carried on shooting. met a man.
Okay. I met a man.
Met a man randomly. I can tell you where, bottom of the mountain at Cadwell Park.
Okay.
So if you don't know what the mountain is, it's a really steep incline where the bikes can leave the ground basically. Cars not so much, but it has been known. I was chatting to him. He turned out he was going to New Zealand and just said, "Do you want the catering job?"
Yes, we're kind of where I wanted to go. Yes, keep going, because this is where it starts to get wild.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited for this. So, and I'll just point out for those watching this the first time, we actually shot this interview with Dan last year, except me and Daniel Felt Prime were talking too much. So that's why I'm trying to be quiet, because this is a wild story and a wild ride. And if you're watching, you're with us, buckle up, because it's great.
It's good fun, isn't it? Yeah. So he said, do you want to push in the catering? So I was like, at the time, it was a bit of a whoa, like, obviously feeling blood rushing out your legs sort of thing. It's a big job in the UK. This is when catering were even bigger than they are now. I mean, they've sort of gone out of the loop, F1, blah blah blah, back then. So I said yes. That sounds fantastic. He disappeared. He gave me the contacts for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Had a full season shooting basically all their road sports. So you had caterings, super lights, things like that. All around the country, all around Europe, shooting these cars, getting to know the drivers, massive events, which then led on to.
There we go.
There you go. So
Are these your photos?
Yeah. So that is what's his name? He's a financer. So I'm still friends with him on Facebook, would you believe? So we went to most of that's. I'm trying to think where that is. That's Brands Hatch, I believe. That's just coming down the. That's just coming down Paddock Hill, just around there. But yeah, we're really good friends with him, and that's going back with the start of the catering days.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. We got a bit distracted with the photo.
Yeah, sorry.
You were like mid story. I forgot where we were.
No,
and then...
Yeah, so we did catering. Got further and further. Met loads more people obviously in the sport. And then we got invited to go to Johnny Herbert, ex F1 driver,
right,
his charity event, which opened a lot of doors.
Okay, what doors?
So Johnny Herbert, he does every year. He still does it now. He does a charity event, which is a lot of F1 drivers, old F1 drivers, current F1 drivers, touring cars. They all come. Race karts around for a bit of fun, raise loads of money, blah blah blah. While I was there, got talking to Jenson Button.
As you do.
As you do. Brundle, things, or loads of other big names in there. Got working with Honda, and then that's when the Honda F1 deal came around and shooting F1.
Right, okay. I feel like we've missed a step here, Dan, because you've told me, you can put the camera on me if you want, guys, because I am talking. Thank you. So, you've told me about all the crashes that you've seen, and that you've happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Some would call it uncanny, and there's other stories, with things coming flying past your head and stuff. I want to hear about that.
We'll talk about
like,
yeah. So, funny enough, my dad was talking about this the other day because it was saying because you've got new cameras for this year.
Where was that? Sorry,
that was Donington Park.
Okay.
Donington Park, and it was. I think it was British GT, maybe catering, but basically coming out of the last chicane, there's.
No, I'm gonna stop you.
Go on.
Talk to us how you got there, because I know the story of you getting to that point, is also a bit crazy, random, because you followed a whole series. This was before. Am I right? I'm right in the timeline. This is before your F1.
This is before all the.
Yeah. So you're missing a whole bunch. Like I told people to buckle in. You're trying to get to the Formula One, and they haven't heard everything else that's getting you there.
Yeah. So we've got A1 Grand Prix and things like that.
Huh?
Super League formulas.
Educate us. Educate
us. So during the marshalling thing, it was known that if I was still on a corner, there would be a crash. Probably not the best thing in the world.
But how did we get to that contract? So that's what I want to know. Because you told me that contract kind of came from originally.
Yeah.
You told me that contract came from you knowing the right person, someone stepping away. I want to know how you got into it, and then how you got the nickname of Lucky Crash Dan, which I've just made up on the spot, but I'm pretty sure that's what people called you.
Yeah. So obviously Dave, he was the guy who had the catering contracts.
Yeah.
He not walked away, but he basically.
You varnished over that really easily. Like, okay.
Yeah. Sorry. It's just life, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he went to New Zealand basically. So he was going to pursue his motorsport photography in New Zealand. So he had contracts and contact with A1 Grand Prix, and catering in this country. He passed them on to me. Forever grateful. I took out the photo you saw earlier on. That's part of it, part of the catering stuff. So we did all the catering road cars, all the racing that the caterers did on track.
Mm.
We took photos of. Richard Jennings, that's his name.
You followed the series, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, so followed all the around the country, around Europe. Anywhere they were, I was basically, which is when you're that young, 17, 18, 19.
So, talk to me about following the series, because that's interesting. So you're 17, 18, 19, that age, you're following the series, you've got this head on you that is now seeing photos that no one else is taking. You're putting yourself in risky positions. Right? That no one else is thinking to go and do, because you'd be stupid to stand there and take the photo because of how dangerous that spot is. So take me through that, and then I know there's a particular story where your dad asked you if you're okay.
Yes.
Right, so lead me to, with that as kind of a brief, take me from what was making you go into those positions to take those photos, and then to that story.
So you'll see most back then, it's slightly different now, but back then there was a lot of photographers, older photographers that have been around for many moons, probably where I'm going to be in 20 years' time, left behind, but and it was very much a standard, take a photo on the corner, all the wheels are stopped because the speeds are too quick, so it looks like the car's parked on the corner. And I kept seeing this and seeing this. I thought, this is boring. We're all stood in a line here, all taking the same photos. What's the point? All get the same shot. So I thought it started off at Brands Hatch. It was down at the bottom of Paddock Hill, which it does that and then comes back up.
I've been on Paddock Hill.
Yeah. So I thought, if it goes wrong, it's going wrong quickly. So I was shooting there, and then I walked a bit further up, shot some more shooting up over the crest, and as I then walked back down, the car went straight through where I was just stood. Wasn't the best idea in the end. But to get those sort of shots, it's all changed now, so there's all crash fences and you can't do it now.
Because no one was stupid enough to stand there and take photos.
I think I should sign that fence personally, because I think it's down to me. So then in the wet, I've had like my dad stand behind me, and then the sides where we've been stood is basically coming down on us. Because it's just not where you want to put it. If you want these sort of shots, there's a photo of a caterer out there somewhere the white one at Castle Coombe, and all you can see is its front wheels and like a little bit of the bonnet, and there's that much rain. But all the other photographers have just got a nice slow shot, whereas I was shooting it as it's coming down the straight, as it's wheel spinning, coming past you. But it's to get into those positions. So that I was then known by the marshals of like being a bad omen for them, good for me because you get the cars going sideways and whatnot, and you don't want anyone to get hurt. But they're the action shots, aren't they? People want to see the action shots. Go forward to Donington Park. Car coming around the last corner, saw it starting to spin, so obviously instantly went shot. Went past me with its backside facing towards me when I heard a go past my right ear and hit a bit like this behind me.
Okay.
I was like, strange noise. And then as I felt it on the camera, but also felt it go past me, like just skim my ear. I was like, well, that's strange. So I turned around, and Dad was about me. He's like, what was that? And then as I turned around, there was a stone, and it had gone past me, clinked the top of my camera, and ended up in.
So your camera saved your life.
Yeah, which I've still got at home.
Yeah.
Now it still worked. Camera was fine, but it's got a massive chunk hanging out of it.
I would love to see that one day.
Yeah, we'll get a photo of it and bring it in.
In fact, we will get a photo of that, and in post, these lovely people eventually, it may not be on the first draft of this coming out, but eventually I would love to have a picture of that.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of this video, we'll just tag it on at the end.
Yeah,
So
it's,
you can
see the, but yeah, it took a chunk out of, and like all the guys, obviously my dad was behind me as well, but they all heard the board go. Poof. That's the closest I've been to being hurt. Like, and it wasn't really the car coming towards me, it was just a freak stone that it just was on the circuit as it spun around, just came off the circuit slightly, and obviously the rears are spinning.
Yeah, for like 100 mile an hour.
Yeah, they are shifting. But yeah, that's the closest I've been to being
effective enemy fire.
Yeah. Effectively, being hurt, but still got the shot. And there's a shot out there that another car did similar. The wheels just start to spin, and the smoke's just every single wheel.
Wow. So you became a bad omen for
the marshals.
For the marshals.
Marshals, yeah. They didn't like seeing me walk around the corner. It didn't happen. Well, I want to say that didn't happen all the time. There was just you get one per.
And what happened with that as a contract? So, because you were up and coming in Caterham, you were taking the photos, you were getting photos no other person was getting. So, in reality, that should have been like a career progression of you just going up and up and up and up. And really, if that had continued, we'd have never been able. You'd never walked across our door.
I wouldn't be saying now.
Yeah. So what happened with that? Because that seemed like your trajectory.
Yeah. So it was still obviously going crazy. Obviously, you can't believe it when you're that age. But so we did Super League Formula, which at the time was a bit of a strange one. So it was motorsport and football crossed.
Who came up with that idea?
I have no idea, but they must have been drunk.
Okay.
So you had Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
Had a car.
Okay.
Liverpool had a car. Very strange concept, but the idea was to get motorsport fans and football fans to mix. So I think the idea was to get, obviously football's got a massive following, it's huge, to get them in so all the Spurs fans would come and support that car. So we was doing that at the same time. 2008 came.
We all know what happened
And we
there.
all
There
know
was
what happened
financial crash.
Yeah, so
not a good time.
the 2006, 2007 A1 Grand Prix, no 2007, 2008, sorry, A1 Grand Prix was shooting that, was working for the New Zealand team at the time, which was with the guy who left the UK. He got paddy with the New Zealand team. He didn't want to travel all the way around the world, so I said I'll do, when they come to European soil, I would do this side. We're just going to go back to New Zealand to do the Australian New Zealand races. 2008 hit, those cars got stuck on a boat and seized. That was it, game over. Caterham did the same. They pretty much pulled out of all racing, F1, the lot, that stopped as well. So basically overnight.
So what happened with your photography career after that point?
So at that point, it basically ground to a halt. I did a few odd ones. Went to circuits. Circuits basically tightened up as well. So it was very much you had to be in I can do that to me, in the click, and you had to have full series. So I basically said to Motorsport, well, I'm gonna step back and start enjoying the photography. And not that I didn't enjoy it, just do it for a love of photography. So I'll just go out with the camera and just stop.
And how long did that go? I want to come on to your try not to get ahead of myself again. But I know that you've got some great photos of the jets going through Wales.
Wales, Mac Loop.
So I want to come to that as a point. I don't know if we can find that, probably not with what I can see going on in the background. But I know we've got some great photos there. So how long, when 2008 crash happened, you stepped away from photography professionally.
Yes, yeah.
So, until you, because I think we can both, am I right in saying you're starting to come back to looking at photography as something you can, as in you figuring it out
to work with again. Yeah.
Okay, so how long was that period, first off?
A long time, probably too long.
Was it 2008 to when you came back to horseboarding?
I would say yeah, probably.
So
probably so. I'll be here for 4 years. So just after COVID, really.
Yeah, I forget how long you've actually been with us now.
I'd say probably that period. So I obviously you go into a day job and life takes over, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, just.
So I want to know what you've done, because you got some. You then also have a great portfolio, although not professionally. Everything you do is to professional quality and value and level. So I want to kind of hear some of the shots that you've got and the ones you're most proud of in that time.
Yeah.
We've just seen something pop up, so we'll get to that.
Not mine.
Is it not his? Okay. But
examples.
Examples.
Yeah.
Examples.
I mean, I can share these.
So.
Oh yeah. That's the Mac Loop. Yeah.
That's not your shot.
That's not my photo. No.
Okay. But some of the shots you've got over the years, what you've then in that non-professional but same level of standard done, and then your very supportive wife, because I know how supportive she is, because you've told us, because you made a decision to come to Prague, which we'll get onto and what Prague meant and what it does.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of want to understand, the gap between 2008, 2009, when everything kind of declined.
Yeah.
What you were doing, like personally, what were you doing? What shots were you going out and getting because you wanted to go and get them?
Yeah.
And then, obviously, I want to bring it back to horseboarding.
Yeah.
So
So when obviously after the motorsport side of it, went back to what I knew basically, which was retail. Not very exciting.
You can change the camera now, just so you know.
Hello. Yeah, went back to retail. Still in that side of it now. That's what I knew. So I knew management in retail. Had a few health issues along the way, which have, well, even worse at the moment, but we'll scroll past that because it's negative and boring. So yeah, I went out and just went out for the love of photography. So I went back to I did a few motorsports, but on the other side of the fence, just to not to keep my eye in, but it's good to keep practice. You'll like, this is the first show this year, so you'll see I'll be rusty probably the first couple of runs round. So I'll shoot and I'll miss the first couple of shots just because you just got to get your eye in again. And so that's what I went out for, just to try and keep my eye in. Did a lot of aviation stuff. I think that probably stems back to my granddad as well. Just that's where it came from basically. So did like Mac loops.
Talk to me about that, because you got some amazing Mac loop photos.
Yeah.
I think you've said also shots other people haven't got as well. Am I right in that, or am I over exaggerating in my brain?
No, not for Mac loop. That will be unique. I don't think. Maybe slower.
Did I just did I link the first aircraft photo?
Okay. Yeah. So
but even so, the Mac loop shots you've got are.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone gets over shots to go. Yeah, because you get shots like that.
Again, not yours.
Not mine. I got a similar shot to that. Not as much vapour as that on the wings though.
Well, actually, let's
critique
that photo.
I mean, it might be the screen looking at it, but it looks slightly overexposed. But that might be because it's snowing behind it. Apart from that, it looks pretty decent, to be fair.
Okay, so not much critique.
No, not really. I'd maybe go a bit slower on the shutter speed to get a bit more blur, but then you risk missing the shot.
Okay.
So it depends what they're taking the shot. If you're doing it for fun, I'd go slower. If I was doing it for a job, I would go faster. Or faster or that speed, just so you don't miss the shot.
Okay.
That's the last thing you want is to get...
Okay, so there's quite a bit of trepidation in shooting. Like, as in, okay, well, now if I'm doing this for fun, I'm going to slow the shutter speed to get the better shot.
Yeah.
If I get it.
Yes.
But if I'm being paid, I need the shot.
You want the shot, which is a lot of what happened with motorsports. So you get you see it now. You see a lot of Formula One photos out, and the wheels, depending on how fast the Formula One car's going, the wheels are stopped. And there's always a telltale sign of they just wanted the shot. They didn't want anything else. They need that shot. You'll see it with horseboarding as well. So you'll see the first maybe 3 heats, proper, serious, make sure I get the shot. 4th heat, start getting arty with it. So go wide, get low. So you'll probably see if someone's running around, you see me, I'm either lying on the floor, or because I know I've got the shots in the bag already. So I can then go super slow, and you'll see like the blur, for high speed shots. So yeah, just make sure you've got everything you need in the bag, and then start.
Okay, I didn't realise that. I didn't realise this. But because everything's so easily filmable nowadays, like everyone's got a camera, like and that's, from what we know of photography, everyone's got an iPhone, everyone's got an Android. You can take a photo, you can take a video, but there's a real artisan skill in what you do that becomes more than just what you see on socials and stuff, but the quality of it shows.
Yeah, I used to think that was a big thing, like 15 years ago, that everyone's got a camera now, so that's maybe why it works harder. Like photography work is harder, but Dad was at Mum and Dad were at one of the shows last year, and I think Ryan just clipped the back of a horse and he fell off on the weave. But Dad took a photo and he sent it to me while still taking my photos, and I was like, oh yeah, it's quite good, zoomed in, got to see detail, and I took the photo exactly the same time on my camera and zoomed in, and you can see Ryan board going up as the hoof comes up. And I said to Dad, that's the difference. Everyone thinks they've got a camera in the pocket, but they haven't got
a camera
in the pocket.
Yeah.
That's not a camera.
That's, yeah.
So you played knifey spoony before.
Yeah, but for 9 times out of 10, people are quite happy with just taking a snapshot. But if you want that high speed or the quality, there's no getting away from all those.
Yeah, I mean that's, I just didn't realise the trepidation you're going through as someone that's something I've found. Like I studied theatre, like, you know, and I didn't understand the creative difference between a musician and a theatre performer until I started talking to a music student.
Yeah.
And the way their brain thinks is exactly the same way. They're just seeing notes, not dance moves or theatre lights.
Yeah.
And probably the same way that you're viewing taking a photo or looking at things is very similar. Like your level of adrenaline for the people doing the sport, and then you taking the photo is exactly the same. Because if you don't get that shot at the right time, the shot doesn't happen. It doesn't exist.
The moment's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got that. I mean, some of the newer cameras around have got pre-shoot as well, which I think is cheating. So don't do that.
Okay. Okay. Why is pre-shoot cheating?
No, it's not really. It's just so pre-shoot. You can say you're taking a picture of like a bird, and the bird moves, whereas normal photography you just get the shot of it going. Whereas pre-shoot takes 15 shots before you press the shutter.
Yeah. That feels like cheating, right?
Yeah. I don't count. No skill in that.
Well, most people would think AI is cheating, but
yeah, true.
Like, work with the technology, right? Because I think maybe I'm not going to put any discredit to your art, but if that then becomes standard, then you're pre-shooting, but you're pre-shooting before someone's touched it, so you're actually taking the photo. Then you're going to start missing the thing that happened before.
You start before taking photos 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
So obviously technology is phenomenal now. The lenses, they focus so quick compared to when I first started again. And when I started, I was like, this is state of the art.
What you're doing, cranking
basically,
lens.
Under a cover.
Yeah.
But I forgot where we were now.
I don't know. I forgot too. So we were talking about getting the photo. Your dad took the photo of Ryan.
So that's the difference between everyone having a camera. I mean, you see it on social media. People will film or take photos of their days, whereas I'll look at those photos and go, okay,
bit rubbish.
I can get closer than that.
Yeah.
I can take photos like. Yeah, it's just different. I mean, it depends what you want, but
if you want to get the feel of an everyday out Instagram photo, this is what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Everyone's got a photo. You can record your memories.
Yeah.
In a photo album.
Yeah.
If you want to experience the moment it was taken in, your style of photo is giving you that experience.
I mean, you said about it, like adrenaline. Probably the same adrenaline you guys winning is probably the same adrenaline I get when I know I've just clicked it and I know that's absolutely bang on.
Nice.
And I know when I scroll back later, that photo, you just know. It's like the Prague photo of Ryan and Sally.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Because I know they've got Prague photos waiting, so we're not gonna have them on the screen yet. Because so So, this is where we get, and this is where I wanted to actually kind of come on a bit personal. So, don't need to go too far, but give the information that you want. I want to understand because I know how supportive your wife is.
Yeah.
And when you kind of decided, do you know what, I want to give this horseboarding.
Yeah.
I want to give it my all.
Yeah.
So, you've done a few events.
Yeah.
Of just randomly photoing. Then you joined us.
Yeah.
As a family.
2023.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
if you say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it that year? Was it 20?
It was that year.
It was that year. Okay.
Start,
Yeah. Okay. So it's that year. So at what point did you? And remind me of your wife's name.
Jill.
Yeah. That's annoying. I just didn't want to get it wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want to get on a bad side.
Yeah.
Most wives are scary, and I don't want to upset them. So, at what point did you turn around and say, I really think this has got legs? One for you and for your career, less about what horseboarding is doing, but one for you.
I'd probably say coming away from that first weekend, you know there's something there, and then a couple of more in, you think, actually, like with Dan, like you just come in with ideas, like I'll do this and this, and then like you guys running with it. You think, yeah, you can. Also, you can create not a portfolio, but you can experiment within an arena.
Yeah. And
see what works for the sport, what doesn't. And then I think it could maybe a couple in, and I just thought, yeah, I'm on board with this. I'm down, and then you buy 10, and then.
When you buy 10, you lose 10.
Lose 10 breaks. Yeah, you sleep with someone else at 10.
Yeah. So you went through. So you've been out of photography professionally and you're volunteering right now. Your photos right this second are just going out to everyone to see. Now that is changing with horseboarding. Horseboarding sees your value and what you do, and that is all changing. So we hope as horseboarding to give you the platform that you kind of re-go that way into a more professional side that you want to do. But what was that conversation? Did you have to have that conversation with your wife, or did she go, "Yeah, you're getting back into it, aren't you"?
No. Because the thing is, I'll always have a camera not too far away from me.
Yeah.
And she knows the passion in me before we even met. I was doing photography and going around the country in Europe or whatever. But yeah, it wasn't really. It's more of a don't make me a horseboarding widow at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
You know what I mean, though.
So you don't leave her behind just for horseboarding.
Yeah.
She can come.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
Statement. There's those words put together. It's
Yeah.
the first time I've heard it. Although I leave a trail of them behind me.
Yeah.
Ew.
Daniel Flower Prime, everybody.
Yeah.
Ew.
Okay, right. That's the tech team talking in the background. There we go.
So,
right.
So she's more than supportive. If we've got a passion for something, then she'll back us 110%. If we need to, she's brilliant. Need to fund cameras or whatever, or buy new equipment, 110% behind us.
So.
Which is tricky sometimes because they're not cheap.
You keep turning up with new kit, and none of us know what you turned up with until it gets used. Like you just give me a camera to put into my helmet.
Yeah.
Like, mate, it hurts my skull just in the camera, and I hope I don't fall off and break myself with it. Yeah, this little bad boy. I'll show it here. So what was this? It's an Insta360 Go 3, who should be sponsoring us.
Yeah, they should be sponsoring
by
us.
the way.
Yeah.
So we'll tag them in this.
Yeah.
But explain to me. I'm going to hand it to you now, and then talk me through it.
So basically, you've got.
Camera. Yeah.
Oh yeah, hello. So we've got. It's basically that's a normal like GoPro size, which you can put on your helmet like normal, blah blah. But it's got a little quirk, so you can do that, and then you've got a little 40-gram camera that still records in full. I believe 1440p, maybe 4K. But it stabilises, and we've been trying it out today, and it seems to work really well. It's magnetic though. That's the key to that. So we can put it absolutely anywhere. There's obviously metal, so around here, but it's so light. The problem we had with the 360 cameras is it's so heavy. There you go. So they're so heavy, which are a bit of a nightmare for some of the riders and some of the boarders because it makes your helmet flop all over the place. Whereas that, you don't even know it's on. You can also attach it here with a pendant as well. So yeah.
And it's got a little screen, right?
Yeah, and it's got a screen, so if anyone wants to vlog, you can do that and you can vlog. But yeah, a good bit of kit. It just opens up to another avenue of getting footage that you stick cameras in.
What's that RRPing for? I.e., what did you pay for it, Dan?
I didn't pay full retail.
Did you not? Okay.
No.
What is it RRP for? Do you know?
They're about, I'm not sure, 200-300 I'd say, maybe more. Yeah, maybe more, a bit more. Yeah, 300.
360, 200, 300 quid.
Yeah. But yeah, they're just to get a camera in that's that much space for that quality plus stabilisation. Stabilisation is the big thing.
So it's great.
Yeah. So with you guys, the footage is like until you switch stabilisation on, and then it's crystal clear. But yeah, it's good fun.
Okay, so we've gone through that all the stuff that we're now using currently.
Yeah.
The supportive family.
Yeah, very supportive.
Getting you through, and then so we end up the first year of horseboarding. I still think we missed some things about your career, but we're going to keep moving on anyway.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Yeah. So we then get to the fact that horseboarding goes to the O2 Arena in Prague 2023.
Yeah.
And we have to take a skeleton crew. We can't bring all the people we want. Now, what decision did you make to do, Dan?
Oh, I'll pay for tickets and come with you.
Yeah. Now, talk me through it because you got press pass. Now,
Yeah.
not everyone. Just to be clear, you and me couldn't just say to the Longines Global Tour in Prague, "Hey, I'd like to come as a photographer, and here's my Instagram profile." That's just not going to happen. You need to put forward a full profile. Am I right?
Yeah,
you need to put through
yeah.
a full profile, and then they say yes or no. So there's only one person that I know that is involved in horseboarding that could get away with that, and it's this guy right here. So talk us through it.
Hello. Yeah. So basically, knew you guys were going. Wanted to. Well, not on an iron, but thought, is it financially possible? What's the logistics of it? Obviously, we've got a lot of kit. So lifting. I mean, the cases over there. That's 26 kilos. Let's say in full.
Oh wow.
So trying to get that across to another country is going to be a nightmare.
Outside the EU as well.
Yeah, and it was fun going through the airport and getting searched, but as you open up what looks like bazookas. So I thought if I'll apply, and then if it's to say no, I've not lost anything. If they say yes, then we can look at it a bit more seriously. So did all the accreditation, a bit like going back to motorsport, doing all the accreditation, sent them my portfolio. Quite quickly got back and went, yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think I rang you and said, oh yeah, I've just got accreditation for Prague. And I was like, right, okay, let's make it work then. And then basically banked in all my birthday and Christmas's money for the next 400 years and funded it to go out there.
Or held a supportive family.
Yes, yeah. Mum, Dad, Shell, everyone.
We got those,
Very
Wow.
lucky.
So what was it like Okay, so we're seeing some of the shots. I'll
Yeah,
ask these questions
yeah.
afterwards.
That's the shot that when you know, and yeah, that as soon as I press click on that shot.
I wish we had the shot without the watermark for people to see, but
I'm struggling to find that.
that's fine. But you can go to Horseboarding UK, you can go to Overton, you can buy that shot if you want. There's even a horseboarding calendar, am I right?
Calendar, yeah, I think that's on the mouse. Is it that one on the mouse map?
Have we had a 2026 one?
No, yeah, it's not over.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
So yeah, so it's obviously just certain shots that you just think, yeah, that's if you walk away from it and go, I'll walk back down. There is a story behind that shot.
I want to hear it because I know exactly what you're about to say. So So you've now made it to the Longines Global Tour for horseboarding. Like horseboarding has worked 10 years to get that kind of event. You've then, as a photographer, got yourself in based off your accreditation, which we are very happy to have linked to us.
Yeah.
Talk me through that event for you, because like I barely saw you. I knew you were there, but we walked past you every day in your little photographer's room,
the little
like
wooden box.
right.
Yeah.
So like we were like, "Hi, Dad!"
Yeah.
And then cracking on with what we had to do because it was massive under there.
It was
Like I got lost.
Yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting when I got there. I thought it'd be a bit like a media centre, and it was just a rat run of. It went
I think
everywhere.
under the basement in the middle of nowhere, like you just did, like you got lost just walking into it.
Yeah.
Let alone once you were where you needed to be. How did I get out?
Yeah, trying to get downstairs was just a minefield.
Yeah.
The weekend was not a lot of sleep. I will be honest, because the actual show jumping didn't finish till 11:30, 12 o'clock some nights.
Yeah.
And then you got to do a full run of editing to try and get it out there to whatever platforms you're trying to put it on. Obviously mainly there for you guys, but I wasn't expecting it to be so full on shooting wise. Also didn't expect the pushback I had on some of the photographers that were there, but to be expected.
Talk to us about that, because you were taking photos and you're a tall guy. Like I will never understand your height. As a 5'5" nothing guy. But you were getting like elbowed out of shooting room.
Yeah, getting pushed. So we had set spaces that we could shoot in basically, and then I was getting pushed, and then random people were coming in and pushing. At the right time to take a photo, I was getting nudged, and it was getting to the point where I thought, right, we'll go completely different. So I then moved around to a different side, knocked the shutter speeds right down, and then went a different way, super wide. Sort of brought on the photos, the super. As soon as I did that, I thought that's quite a unique shot. I knew you guys were going to come around there, so get to go wide and then to slow it down as well shows the speed, but also shows where you are. Because I felt we was all taking the same shot. That horse could have been anywhere.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I thought go wide. You've got the whole arena. You see where you are and what it's all about.
This
sort of, yeah.
So you said there's a story behind this.
Yeah, so we had a bit of a set 2 security on that. Also got stuck in the lift.
Didn't you take a lift that you weren't supposed to take to get to that floor?
Yeah.
Oh, where did this story start, Dan? Where did this story start?
What?
So,
Go on.
I said I want a photo.
You wanted a photo. You had it
I
in
want
your
that
head.
photo.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I'm not sure what night that was. No, it must be you used it
That
Saturday.
was
You used it in
Saturday.
the arena, weren't you?
Yeah. We got the other photo.
So I ended up. I thought I need to go upstairs, but I need to get. That was
There's
freaky.
Dan.
So I thought you'd see me at that point, and you you hadn't. So I went upstairs, went in the lift, and then the lift door shut, and then I realised you needed a security pass to make the lift do anything. At that point, I then realised that I couldn't get out of the lift, and I thought, I'm going to miss this. I'm going to be. The security guard came in because you can't come in there. I said, I just need to go up once when we went up. And then when I was then stood taking this photo, and then got a tap on the shoulder saying you can't stand here, but I knew what I wanted, so I was trying to slow them down, and then as you guys come around, bang, 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 swung, got a big lens out, shot you with a big lens, and then went, you need to move. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I've got what I need now. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And then hence, these shots. So I thought Dan had seen me at this point, because he looked like he was staring straight at me, and also I've got a 500mm lens on at this point.
You're looking into his iris.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just the background of those shots. But yeah, phenomenal weekend. Not successful on sales wise, but I think it gave me the kick up the backside.
Did it do something like? I've not actually asked you this question. Did you sell anything? Like, I know it's.
Yeah, no, nothing from that weekend. But so Cali, I don't know what they're called. The stunt rider, the Cali guys.
Yeah.
They came back and they actually bought a photo about 3 months ago.
Oh really?
Just randomly out of the blue, which is completely strange. So I mean, sometimes it's a waiting game. You sell them 3 years down the line, but yeah, it was a kick up the backside of right. Let's try and go for this again. Let's start working and putting a bit more.
And where do you see? So now we're 2026. So which is mental in my brain.
Yeah.
Now it wasn't 3 years ago. That's what we've got to remember. We are 2026, but this was November 23.
Yeah.
So it's not quite, it's about 2 years ago, which helps.
Yeah.
I think as you get, I didn't realise as you get older, time kind of dilates slightly. It just speeds up.
Yeah.
It's weird. But how do you see it? So post Prague, horseboarding is going through a lot of changes. I think you as a photographer and creator are doing the same, because we're all talking, not constantly, because obviously you've got personal life, we've all got personal lives.
Yeah.
But where do you see it going now? What's the kind of direction you're on? What do you want? And what's your end goal? That's what I'd like to know from horseboarding.
Horseboarding, I want to see it on either the big. It needs to be on the big. Well, it needs to be on the big stage basically. So it needs to be support. I want it to be supported, but also self-sustain itself. If that makes sense.
Mm.
So people don't see what goes on around. They see the arena. They see these videos. But they don't see the work that goes into it. We've all got jobs outside of this.
Yep.
But to get people that are self-sufficient, so it pays for.
Yeah.
That's the next step, and obviously it's going to be a lot of massive hard work, because the hours we as guys put in now, as well as doing full-time jobs, is astronomical. But that's where it needs to be, and I think once the right people have seen it, it'll go.
Okay.
And I think we just need to keep pushing it. I mean, the live streams, the content we're putting out from where we were, even more what I was doing in 2023. I think if we went to Prague now with what we've got, it'd be phenomenal. Not saying Prague wasn't phenomenal, but the content that we can create would be another level even now.
Okay. So what I'm gonna get you to sign off.
Oh God.
So I may do the last thing. I like speaking last. But if you could drop a bit of wisdom out there for anyone watching, teams, anything, for you as a photographer, what would be that one bit of wisdom, that one bit of thing that is going to inspire people or make people realise the from what you've said, everyone's putting in this vast amount of effort and trying to build something, and I think you've really seen that from what
massively.
we're all trying to do, trying to create a vision. And I love that your wealth of experience and years has then come into that and gone, okay, I see your vision. I may not see the whole thing, but I see it.
Yeah.
What would be the thing that you'd say that should inspire people to get involved in the sport? Because I think that's important.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's where I'm coming from. But also people that just want to take photos, man.
Yeah.
Like, what do they want to do?
So horseboarding wise, I would say it is hard work. But I'm going to probably speak more of the production side that I see, not so much the horse side, because I obviously deal with it, but not as much as you guys do. It is hard work, but the amount of work you do put in, the reward is phenomenal. So when you see what you've done over the weekend, and you see the responses he gets over the social medias, or when people come by and say, yeah, it's great, the reward is what we're doing it for, and what I would personally do it for. So I won't just come and give it a go, basically. If you're worried about like what people think of you, haven't got the experience of other people, don't worry about that. There's so many good heads around.
It's the amount of photos you've taken.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's quite a few. So I would say just come and enjoy it for a weekend, and I think you'll stay pretty much forever. I think you get scooped up in not chaos, but you know what I mean.
It is chaos.
It is chaos, but it's not. Yeah, but it's organised chaos.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Directional chaos.
It's fun chaos. It's not your hair's on fire chaos. It's just good fun. You come away with good mates, good memories, and something to show for it.
And then for someone just getting out into photography that's gone, this is something I want to do.
Yeah.
Give them
So
a bit of advice.
all I would say, if you're into photography and you've just started out, shoot everything. Anything you see, take a photo of it. So you've got a camera on the table, get lights, take photos, play with the aperture, play with shutter speeds, see what works, what doesn't work. Get your own style. I find that's a big part of it.
I'm gonna mess around with this camera just here, because I know I'm gonna mess everybody up. But like when you say talking with lights, we've been playing with this light here.
Yeah,
The view,
little things,
right?
Yeah,
Just to give us a bit more face light.
yeah. But it's that's learning your locations and learning your technology, the cameras you've got. If you go out and think you're just gonna shoot and take great photos, forget it. It ain't gonna happen. You'll come away from some days thinking, don't think so much of that. So the first night in Prague is a good example of that. I think I said to maybe Dan, I shot at the wrong setting. I thought it was going to be darker in there than it actually was. It felt darker because the first night I walked away going, I've really messed that up. But the next night, spot on. So it's just don't give up. Shoot everything, don't give up. You're going to have bad days with it. All photographers do. And remember a memory card. It's always good. We've all done that.
Yes, memory cards.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Yeah.
We have many conversations about memory cards. But on that note, it's been a rather chilled out Beer 10 breakdowns, but Super Dan needed the time and the space to be heard, because I thought his story was an amazing one and is an amazing one. So thank you very much for listening all the way through. Please like, subscribe. I'm going to make it really hard for the production team now. There should be things turning up down here. If they don't, just go to our YouTube and have a look. Go to Facebook, do everything. Just follow Horseboarding, follow Beer Tent Breakdowns. Give us a like, give us a comment, give us some feedback. But for now, we'll see you later and catch you next time.